when I worked in a hospital, what I realized is that I was working with people who were dying many times because I ran a cancer clinic and an AIDS clinic. And what came up for them were spiritual concerns, end-of-life concerns. But a lot of them didn't want to speak to chaplains. They were there. I was running a mind-body clinic. They were seeing what they needed to heal in their life. And there was a lot of emotional healing that went on, a lot of forgiveness work, learning how to meditate, how to stay centered, how to deal in a positive way with emotions. And then spirituality would naturally come up, and a lot of the people that I worked with would suddenly, oh, meditation is okay, emotional work is okay. But as a healthcare professional, what do I say when someone has spiritual questions? What's my role here? Because healthcare providers weren't trained in it. And I said to myself when I left Harvard in 1988, someday I'm going to start a program that allows healthcare providers and anybody else who wants to work with people in a spiritual way to find out a way to do that, where they're not telling them what to do. They're not advertising their brand of spirituality. Maybe they're not even thinking of it as spirituality. But they're learning to sit and receive and learning to ask the right questions of the other person that allow the other person to go deeply into their own experience so that whatever they need to deal with or process comes from themselves. And so eventually, my colleague Janet Quinn, who's a nurse that I've worked with for a number of years, a nurse PhD, she was one of the original researchers in the field of therapeutic touch, and my husband Gordon DeVaron and I started this school called Claritas, which is the Latin word for clarity. And that's what we do. We train people to sit with other people. And it's not just healthcare providers, although because I'm in the field of healthcare, a lot of those people come. People come from every walk of life who are interested themselves in exploring more what's their connection to something larger and how can they sit with other people in a respectful way and really hear and receive their stories. So that's what I do, and it's a very cool thing. It's been very rewarding.
So let me just expand a little bit. Just whether we use this or not, let's just because to receive and to question are the two things you said.
Yes.
I think that's so critical. You know, first of all, the word Kabbalah means to receive. You know, so the mystic is one who receives without filtering what you receive. Right? So it's an art to be able to sit and receive.
Yes.
It's that you can learn, I think, to some extent. There's a skill to it, and then there's the art takes over. So that's something you can sort of develop. And then the ability to question, maybe to go right back to the beginning. Spirituality as a practice is the practice of receiving and questioning. That to me I don't know if we need anything else, you know?
That kind of demystifies it.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah. Well, that's a really good point, because you get Kabbalah to receive, but it's what you received is a packaged thing. And okay, teach me this, now I can go out and I can do it and I'm going to be enlightened. But no, we're talking about simply to be receptive.
Yes.
To whatever is happening. That's the kabbalist, is one who is truly receptive, not to a brand, but to reality.
Yes.
And then to question what you're receiving, to question what you have received, to question what you're putting out there, I mean, to question everything. And in that gentle way, but that persistent way, that ultimately lets you see through it all.
And you know, there's something really important too when you're sitting with another person and you're receiving their story, because I'm feeling this kind of sitting happening between you and me, and that is, you got to see the other person's light and not their lampshade. That's a line from Jerry Jampolsky.
That's nice.
But that's it, to sit like, I'm trusting that you are truly a beautiful, authentic human being. And when I hear your story, no matter what other lampshade aspects may be there, what I'm really seeing the beauty inside of you. And that creates between us such a space of respect, such a space of love that there's a mutual reception that goes on, and in a way it becomes, your questioning is so deeply received by me that it informs me as well. And that's how I felt in this whole interview.
Me too.
What a privilege to sit with you.
You know, Buber talks about the in-between, and that's where God is manifest,
Yeah.
in the in-between, between two people speaking I and thou. Yeah, this is wonderful.
Very sweet.
Thank you.
I love you, Rami.
I love you too, Johnny. Thank you.